Hi everyone, this is the video that goes along with online work 37, I believe it is, volume of cones. Think of a cone like an ice cream cone. It has a circular base and then it comes to a point. We're going to do an activity today where we see how many cones it will take to fill up the cylinder. I'm going to fill this with water. We're going to dump it into the cylinder. We'll see how many cones it takes to fill up the cylinder. Notice they have the same size base. They have the same height. Why don't you give it a guess right now? How many of these cones do you think it will take to fill up the cylinder? Let's see if I can do this without making a mess. There's one cone in there, not even halfway yet. There's the second cone. And the third one fills it exactly up to the tippy top. Let me dump this before I spill it. So it takes 3 of these cones to fill up the cylinder, which tells you that the volume of the cone is 1/3 of the volume of the cylinder. And that's going to help us understand the formula. So if I want to find the volume of a cone, let's see if I can move that down a little so you don't have such a glare on there. If I want to find the volume of a cone, I know a cone is 1/3 of a cylinder. And I know the formula for volume of a cylinder is pi times the radius squared times the height. So pi times the radius squared times the height would give us the cylinder. If it's a cone, I'm just going to do 1/3 of that, and that will give me the volume of the cone. Make sure you write down that formula. That's the formula you're going to need on today's work. Now, sometimes people say to me, well, what if I don't have a fraction button? Then how am I supposed to multiply by 1/3? Remember, finding 1/3 of a number is the same as dividing it by 3. So let's look at a couple of examples together. Here I have, can you see that? That's a little bit fuzzy. Here you have a cone. The radius is 16 meters and the height is 33 meters. So let's find the volume of it. I'm going to do 1/3 times pi times the radius, which is 16 squared, times the height, which is 33. Remember, we always do exponents first. So 16 squared is 256. Now from here, you could take 1/3 of 33 or 1/3 of 256. I'm going to do 256 times 33 first, which is 8,448. And so I'm going to do 1/3 times pi times 8,448. Now remember, don't punch the pi in. We're going to leave it in terms of pi unless the directions tell us to round. We're going to find 1/3 of 8,448. So you can use your fraction button and punch in 1/3 times 8,448. Or you can do 8,448 divided by 3 to find 1/3 of it, which is 2,816. Don't forget the pi, and the label on this one would be cubic meters. Let's do one more. Here's a cone that has a diameter of 4 feet and a height of 8 feet. And they're asking us to round to the 10th place. So now we're not going to leave our answer in terms of pi at the end. We'll punch it in the calculator and round it. So volume equals 1/3 times pi. Now be careful. 4 is not the radius. 4 is the diameter. The radius is only halfway, so that would be 2. So it's 1/3 times pi times 2 squared times the height, which is 8. Exponents come first. 2 squared is 4. I'm going to do 4 times 8, which is 32. So this is 1/3 times pi times 32. 1/3 times 32, or 32 divided by 3, is 10 2/3, or 10.6 repeated, pi. Now, because the directions asked us to round this one, you're going to punch it in your calculator, 10 2/3, or 10.666666666 times pi, and you get 33.51032164, which is going around to 33.5 cubic feet. I hope that helps you with today's lesson. Let me know if you have any questions.